Talking about censorship here, the Trans Against Groomers director was apparently suspended from a Twitter account after sending out a controversial tweet. The tweet in question reads this, in part, quote, "It's a mental disorder. I mean, when some wiring in your brain makes you feel more comfortable as the opposite sex, that's an illness, which I don't think we should stigmatize mental illness either." The account was reinstated Wednesday, but apparently as of this morning, the account has been locked out again for tweeting this. Being gay was removed from a list of mental illnesses in 1973. This isn't anything to do with wokeness. Pansexual is basically the same thing as bisexual. None are on the list. None have anything really to do with dysphoria.
Oh, Twitter, Twitter, Twitter. Hopefully if I say it 3 times, my account will end up being unlocked. Alright, so welcome back to my channel today, everyone. So I have been taking a little bit of a mental health break, but I am back. And so Twitter has also given me a little bit of a break. They've locked my account now out twice in the last week for hateful conduct. But before I get into that, I want to let you know you can support me and my work by going to use my donor box on my website. Also go and make sure you support the Trans Against Groomers organizations, where I have just recently taken over as the communications director. You can do that by using the link below. As well, go check out the Gays Against Groomers organization, support them, and use the link and my promo code below. And you can get 10% off on your order of t-shirts and everything else. Both sites have their own t-shirts, hats, stickers, whatever you want. Got a lot of merch and everything on there. Just go support the 2 organizations and support my work as well. Thank you. So back to Twitter. I woke up Monday morning with a notification that my account had been locked for hateful conduct. The violating tweet? It is a mental disorder. I mean, when some wiring in your brain makes you feel more comfortable as the opposite sex, that's an illness. Which I don't think we should stigmatize mental illnesses either. So not only was I talking about a disorder that I myself have, but I said that we shouldn't stigmatize it. How is that hateful when their definition of hateful conduct is targeting of a specific group with hate? That doesn't make sense. I'm talking about this and I'm actually saying we shouldn't hate people that have mental illnesses. What? After I got the notification, I appealed the decision. I was just sure that it was some sort of coding issue that's still left over from the previous Twitter management. I was sure my account would be reinstated. At the same time, I reached out to the team over at the Post Millennial, and they ended up running the breaking news story about it. Later in the day, I was shocked when my appeal was actually denied. Because again, if it was a coding issue, okay, that's easy to fix. It should have just been overturned. There would have been no issue. When it was denied, they made it really clear that a person had to view that tweet and then still view it as hateful conduct. Which again, I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. But by this point, the story had already really blown up, with Andy No tweeting the story, which was then later quote tweeted by the CEO of the Babylon Bee, Seth Dillon, which said, "Twitter should not be deciding what's hateful. Hatred is a feeling. Twitter has no idea how people feel when they say things like men cannot become women. To assume the only reason for such things must be hate is itself malicious and terrible." Which is so true. Which is why we need to continue to ask the left to define what hate speech is. Because it's always up to the individual and whoever is interpreting that somebody is being hateful. There's no clear-cut guidelines on what determines hate speech. And it really relies on the intent behind the words, not just what the words are. Again, if a person like me, who am I being hateful towards if I'm talking about myself or a disorder that I have? Am I being hateful towards myself? I don't hate myself. I love myself. It's not hateful for me to acknowledge what the medical community acknowledged, years ago. And it's still in the DSM-5. So make it make sense. So after my appeal was denied, I decided to try to appeal again. And I made the decision to not delete the tweet and take the strike and the deboost that comes with that. I decided that I would use my platform to stand up for all the other accounts that were locked out for the same thing. If you look at Andy No's tweet and all the other tweets that were talking about this, and I know, and if you look in all those comment sections, it's just filled with people saying, I was suspended for the same thing. I was suspended for the same thing. Nicole Salas, a friend of mine, is also serving a 14-day suspension for saying something very similar.
Wow.
Like multiple people were saying that. And so I decided to use my platform, because I had this platform, to stand up for those people. And so by Wednesday evening, we put enough pressure on Twitter that they unlocked my account. No email, nothing. I literally checked at 4 o'clock to see what was going on. It was still locked, and about 5 o'clock, it was working, just working again. And the tweet was still up. So they made the decision somewhere along the way and didn't even notify me, but it was working all the same. And so really, I saw this as a win, not only for myself, but for free speech and for Twitter users. And I think it really showed that Elon is serious in his dedication to make Twitter a free speech platform. And there are still a lot of bugs that need to be fixed. But then I woke up on Friday morning, just before I was set to go on the Newsmax interview, to being locked out yet again. And this time for defending gay people, I guess. I don't know.
I understand your account is suspended again, having to do with another tweet that you're sending off here. Maybe you're being watched. Your account could be, right? It's kind of being highlighted here. Yeah. What's the plan going forward to get that back online?
So again, so this one again, I was actually on the same tweet or the original tweet, like the Andy No tweet. I was actually having a conversation because somebody was saying that pansexual is a mental disorder as well, and that's why they were suspended from Twitter. And I was like, well, you shouldn't be suspended, but here's why that's wrong. You know, fighting that in the face of ideas, like fighting that with words, and telling and educating. And so I don't know why. I think that there is a target on me, but I am. I'm going to appeal it again, and we're going to see what happens going forward. Now, I do think that this one will be overturned fairly quickly. See, I was responding to someone who was suspended for saying that pansexual was a mental disorder, and I disagree with that because I don't believe it is. And this is what I said. Being gay was removed from the list of mental illnesses in 1973. This isn't anything to do with wokeness. Pansexuality is basically the same thing as bisexual. None are on the list. None have anything really to do with dysphoria. I was doing exactly what free speech allows us to do. I was challenging this notion in the marketplace of ideas. Educating somebody on, definitions and why they have meanings. I didn't want them suspended. I didn't want, we just had a disagreement about what these things meant. And it was a good point to say, it's not the same, but you shouldn't be suspended for saying it. Here's a little bit more information. That's what free speech does. It brings to light information. It brings to light more information. Without it, bad ideas go to fester in the darkest corners of the web and then just build on these things. And then that is what actually creates hate. Bringing hate to light is the only disinfectant that you can really have. So here I am, locked out again, hoping that my account will be back soon. I did appeal again, but this is just getting old. I think, again, it really shows that Twitter does have a lot of bugs that still need to be worked out, because just like last week when a bunch of accounts were locked out for criticizing the government, there's a pattern of people getting locked out and then that issue alone getting fixed. So hopefully, again, Elon and the Twitter team will go back and look at this issue now and say, this isn't against our terms of service. We should reinstate these accounts, all the accounts that are locked out right now. And if you were locked out and you deleted a tweet, they should be going back and taking that strike away from their account, and so they're not in jeopardy of getting actually suspended, permanently suspended. But I am hopeful, because like I said, I do think that things are moving in the right direction. I think after my appeal this time, I'm hoping that my account gets reinstated quickly as soon as the appeal goes through, and we can be back to tweeting as normal, and hopefully we can get back to the issues at hand, like not harming children, trying to protect children from making life-altering decisions before they even hit the age of consent, like those important issues, not debating what is and what isn't a mental illness. I think those are the things that we should be getting back to. And by suspending me or locking me out of Twitter, it only hurts me from being able to spread, the good messages that people need to hear. But anyways, let me know what y'all think in the comments section. Is Elon really serious about, making Twitter a free speech platform? Do you have hope that he's on the right direction to do that, or whatever else? As well, click that like and subscribe button. Go support our sponsors. Follow me across all social media platforms, and I will see you next time.